Hi, I'm Caitlyn Vernon. I'm the campaigns director with Sierra Club BC, and I want to tell you a little bit of the history of how this initiative called Pull Together came to be. So it was back in about 2014, and a whole bunch of us were concerned about the Enbridge pipeline and tankers that was going to bring diluted bitumen tankers through the Great Bear Rainforest on BC's north coast. The federal government had approved the project despite widespread opposition, and many Indigenous nations decided to go to court to challenge the federal government approval and to stand up for their rights to make decisions about what was happening on their territories. And a community group in Terrace came together and said, you know what, it doesn't seem right that these First Nations should have to shoulder the burden of these legal challenges alone. Going to court is really expensive, and we all stand to benefit from the outcome. So the folks in Terrace held a spaghetti dinner, and they raised $2,000 to give to the nations that were in court. And then they phoned me and they said, can Sierra Club get people across British Columbia doing this? Because we need more people involved. So Sierra Club BC reached out to Raven Trust, and together we launched the Pull Together initiative to raise funds in support of these Indigenous legal challenges, and also to raise moral support for the nations that were in court, because again, we all stand to benefit. Pull Together was people held parties to stop the pipeline, and potlucks and pub nights and the yoga events and chocolate bars, and the list goes on and on. People had a lot of fun. People came together, built community. Together we raised over $600,000 to support the nations that were in court, and ultimately those nations were successful in overturning the federal government approval, and that led to the demise fully of the Enbridge Northern Gateway Pipeline and Tankers project. However, on the same day that one was officially over, the Prime Minister approved the Kinder Morgan Pipeline and Tankers, and we thought, well, maybe we'll have to do it again. So the Kinder Morgan Pipeline and Tankers project was approved, and many nations went to court, and Sierra Club decided to partner again with Raven Trust, and this time we teamed up with Force of Nature as well to raise funds and moral support for the Tsleil-Waututh, the Squamish, the Coldwater, and the Secwepemc nations who were challenging the Kinder Morgan approval, and we raised $650,000 in court to support their challenges, and they won in the Federal Court of Appeal. They overturned the federal government decision and forced the government to go back and do more marine use studies and more consultation with Indigenous peoples, and that gets us to where we are today. On behalf of Sierra Club BC, and really me personally, I want to deeply give a heartfelt thank you to all of these nations who are stepping up with such courage and determination. It takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of time and money and resources to be putting these legal challenges forward. They shouldn't have to do it alone, and I just want to really acknowledge the weight that they're carrying and how grateful I am for all of their leadership in this struggle. And I really want to thank all of you who have been involved in the first couple rounds of Pull Together for your leadership and your creativity and energy and ideas that you've brought to the ways in which we can bring community together to support these nations. So thank you for all you've done, and yes, we're here once again because the need is still there.